Greetings and salutations, and welcome to Behind the Syndicate, Episode 9. Thank you all so much for watching. Greatly appreciate it. Coach Champagne, he's the head coach of your soon to be CUFL champions, is busy with very important coach like errands. He is currently at a community event in Pflugerville along with some other coaches and players. That means you are stuck with me. In this show, I'm going to go over the syndicate's roster, at least as it stands today. I'm writing an article about it, and that should be published to Alternative Football Network's website shortly. Before we get into the roster, just a reminder that next week we will have our very first game. It's a preseason game, and it's against the Arkansas Nighthawks at P Field. The game starts at 7 p.m. If you haven't gotten your tickets yet, you can scan the QR code in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. After that, there will be the season opener against the rival San Antonio Toros, also at P Field at 7 p.m. Now, let's get into my roster preview. So, the Texas Syndicate roster features approximately by 35 players across all positions. There is a mix of former college athletes, many with D2 and D3 and JUCO pedigrees, plus a few high major standouts. And the roster appears built for developmental football because that's what the COFL is. It's a developmental football league. The ages on the roster skew post college, mostly 23 to 28 years old. There is one standout 19-year-old and a couple of older 29-year-olds. So this suggests a blend of hungry young prospects and seasoned veterans that are chasing opportunities. Um, well, we'll go into each position. Starting with quarterback, right now there are two on the roster. Jeremy Hunt, who is from the University of Findlay, Oak Park, Illinois. He's a local kid. Um, you also have William King III. He is from Lincoln University in Hugo, Oklahoma. So both quarterbacks, they look to bring a prototypical size and a solid arm talent from smaller programs. Uh, the roster right now with just two quarterbacks is kind of thin, but the duo provides a reliable experience without major red flags. We'll move on to the running backs. Looks like there are three running backs on the roster. Zachary Russell from Aurora University in Edmond North, Oklahoma. Raquan Smith, Virginia State and Highland Springs, Virginia, and Trey Sanders from Alabama on the IMG Academy in Port St. Joe, Florida. To me, Sanders stands out with Alabama IMG pedigree. He, in my opinion, has the highest name value on the roster. Now, this group offers a good mix of power with the Raquan Smith and the quickness with Zachary Russell and the size speed balance. So this would kind of be like a hybrid uh, running back and also could be good running backs that catch the ball out of the backfield. Speaking of catching balls, we'll move on to the wide receivers. I do see it looks like there's seven wide receivers on the roster right now. Will Horn the fourth from Robert Morris, Sacramento, California. DeJuan Bell from Fort Valley State, North Augusta, South Carolina. Marcellus Johnson, Southeastern Louisiana and Killeen, Texas. Jaquan Dorsey, Southwest Baptist in Pine Bluff, Arkansas. E.J. Howard, University of the Cumberlands in Rochelle, Georgia. Blade Moore, he is from Horns High School in Dallas. And Fernando Morales, America's slash Premier High School in Pflugerville. And he is the 19-year-old that I had mentioned earlier. So he's the youngest player on the roster and also a local kid. Now, this is one of the roster's deepest and most intriguing groups. Johnson and Dorsey bring big-bodied mismatch potential. Moore and Morales add local Texas flavor and youth. And the versatility on the roster implies multiple people can line up in the slot or on the outside. Tight ends, right now I only see one tight end on the roster, and that's Markel Quinney from Colorado Mesa and Boise. So obviously, with just one tight end on the roster, this position is extremely thin. But Quinney's size is serviceable for blocking and occasional pass catching. But I do believe the position needs more bodies if scheme's going to rely heavily on uh, more multiple wide receiver sets and maybe pass blocking as well too. So I think the syndicate need to bulk up a little bit on their tight end position. All right. Speaking of bulking up, we'll move on to the offensive line. I see right now 7 players on the offensive line. We have Jordan Taylor, the right tackle from Benedict College in Marbleton, Georgia. Jalen Lewis, Central Methodist, Columbus, Mississippi. Clayton Boatwright from Gonzales, Texas. Deshaun Allen, Anna Marie College in Teaneck, New Jersey. Davion McGill, Clayton State, Atlanta, Georgia. And Deshante Lee from U-Pike, Louisiana, and Kentucky. Um, right now, I think this is probably the strength of the roster. There are multiple 300 plus pounders like Boatwright, McGill, and Taylor, and good length across the line. I think this group should dominate one-on-one reps and provide a sturdy pocket. So I do believe it is the strength of the roster. Moving on to defensive line, I see 6 players on the roster. Patrick Isbell from Phoenix College, Phoenix, Arizona. Emmanuel Johnson, Coastal Carolina and Charleston, South Carolina. Anthony Hill in Manor High School in Austin, local kid. Uh, Jamin Graham, Cumberland, Attilia, Alabama. uh, Nana Asante, Morgan State, Brittonville, Maryland, and Joshua Brown, Thiel College, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Now, there's going to be explosive length on the edge with Graham and Asante. Both of them are well over 6 foot, 6'6", 6'7", and paired with massive interior presence and Hill at right now listed at 340 pounds. Now, this depth gives the defensive coordinator flexibility for stunts and sub packages. So this can be a very, very dangerous defensive end or defensive line. Moving on to the linebackers, I see 3 of them. Willie Ford, Floyd, excuse me, from the University of Charleston in Miami, Florida. Tedrick Lowry from Tyler Junior College in Austin, a local veteran. This linebacking crew is solid, but it doesn't not have overwhelming size. Floyd's at 6'1", 239 pounds, and Lowry's also at 6'1" and 230 pounds. Now Lowry, he's 29 years old, so his age and I think his local ties make him a potential leader and also a special teams contributor. We'll move on to the secondary. I see 6 cornerbacks, free safeties, and looks like 2 strong safeties. So it looks like a total of 8 players on the secondary. Rashad Morris from the University of Charleston, Winchester, Virginia. Michael Holland III, Mississippi Valley State, Collegeville, Pennsylvania. Jacoby McQuiller, Central Arkansas, Mississippi. Trevante Gilmore, McPherson University, Miami, Florida. Stacy Brown, Prairie View A&M, Duncanville, Texas, a local kid. Lacarie Pleasant Johnson from Southern Utah and Phoenix, Arizona. Trayvon Williams, Fort Lauderdale, Goodyear, Arizona. And Abraham Timoni from Coastal Carolina and Sumter, South Carolina. Now, there are some very tall physical corners and safeties, like Morris, who is at 6'3", 190 pounds, and Brown, who is listed at 6'3", 200 pounds, and Timoy at 6'4", 200 pounds. So this versatility suggests a nickel and possibly a sub package creativity with them. We'll move on to the last group, and that's the special teams. Looks like there are three people listed on the roster in special teams. Jerron Imbrani, he is the kicker, Midwestern State, San Bernardino, California. Owen Mester, the punter from Lincoln University in Rutherford, New Jersey. And James Eichler, the long snapper from Long Island University, Los Angeles, California. Pretty simple. I believe all these players are going to make the team because they are one of one in each position. I believe they are reliable specialists, and yeah, that rounds out the roster. So, my overall roster assessment, we'll start with the strengths. I do believe that the roster has a lot of good size and athleticism. The offensive line and defensive line front are legitimately big and long. The edge rushers and the big receivers create matchup problems. There's a lot of local Texas talent. So there's multiple players from Austin and Dallas, Killeen, Pflugerville, and Duncanville High Schools. So this will be great for fan engagement and camp atmosphere. And this is exactly what the COFL was looking for in local talent to bring that local spirit. I'd also believe that the roster strength is also in versatility. There are multiple hybrid designations on the roster, and that suggests that Coach Champagne and his defensive coordinator and offensive coordinator can move pieces around and create mismatches. And the last strength is experience depth. There are most of the players here have college film, and I believe that they are in their physical prime. Now, some of the areas to watch and potential weaknesses, like I said, they are thin at tight end. They only got the one, and the quarterback, there's only two. And those rooms could be exploited in certain schemes and could be a potential problem if any injuries occur. I believe a lot of a handful of the players do um, that are listed do lack some college experience, or perhaps maybe because they're from relatively small schools. I wasn't able to look up a whole lot of information on them. Not a lot of public information online, so that could indicate a developmental prospects, which is perfect for the CUFL because that's exactly what this league is about is developmental, but we also do want some experience, and it does look like we have a lot of potentially inexperienced players, but that's for the entire league, to be honest. The roster is camp size. It's I don't think it's at the full strength right now. I know Coach Champagne last week mentioned he's got a couple of players that he was going to look at sign. There's a couple of spots, so the roster's not set. It's not final, but there are going to be some cuts, and that is going to be coming up soon because this week the team is going to be starting their camp, and well, this is the time for players to be on the roster or possibly be cut. So, as I said, this roster is not set in stone. This is just as it is right now. So the bottom line, I believe the Texas Syndicate camp roster looks competitive and it looks well balanced for what the CUFL is looking for, a developmental roster. We are a developmental league that's hopefully going to give these players an opportunity to put their game on film to be promoted to a higher league, such as the UFL, the CFL, or even the NFL. I believe the offensive line and the defensive front provide a physical foundation, while the skill possessions, especially the wide receivers and the running backs, they have playmakers who I believe will make some big highlights. The local Texas connections and a few high pedigree names like Trey Sanders and Anthony Hill, they give the camp roster instant credibility. You should expect strong competition, physical practices, and several players earning pro uh, looks. I hope getting some looks at the higher levels, CFL, UFL, NFL, etc. Hopefully by the end of the season. I do believe that this group has the pieces to put on a very entertaining showing for fans, and scouts alike. So there you go. That is my camp roster breakdown. Like I said, the roster is not set in stone. It's going to be a lot of tweaking here, some cuts, some additions, possibly even during the middle of the season. We do not know, but as of right now, that's how I look at the roster. And I know Coach Champagne he said that he's at a community event right now in Pflugerville, and the preseason starts next Saturday. So, again, if you do not have your tickets, you can scan the QR code in the upper right hand corner of your screen, or you can go to TexasSyndicateGroup.com and get your tickets there. And after that, on the 30th of May, will be the very first game in Texas Syndicate history. The if I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it will be the first professional football team in the Austin area. So get excited, everybody. I know I am. Next week is season week, so hopefully we'll have Coach on here, maybe some players, and we'll actually maybe able to break down the game against the Arkansas Nighthawks, and we can get into the nitty gritties and the X's and O's. But that's it for this show. It's going to be very quick and simple. I just wanted to give a my roster breakdown since Coach is indisposed, and didn't want him to be on the show while he's driving. I didn't think that was a smart idea, so he got stuck with me flying solo. I hope you enjoyed the show. I hope you enjoyed the roster breakdown. I am writing an article, so basically, what you heard in this video is going to be in my article. Probably going to be in a little bit more in depth in the article. Expect that to be posted to AFN, that's Alternative Football Network website here in the next couple of days. So hope you enjoy the show. And if you did, please let me know by hitting that like button. If you haven't subscribed to already, please consider doing that to keep up to date on all things Texas Syndicate and the COFL. Well, that's it, folks. Until next time, unite the hustle. Good night, everybody.